Hey everybody, it's Troy.
And Matthew.
And here we are at the DC Pen Show 2018. We have my lovely bride Sharon behind Matthew. And we're going to do a walkthrough here of the show here in just a little bit. But hey, it's DC Pen Show time. Hey guys, it's Troy.
And Matthew.
You know, it is the DC Super Show, the Fountain Pen Show 2018. And we are back at our hotel. And we gave you the introduction that it's pen show time, and we spent 3 or 4 hours there today, and we've got our pen show hall here in front of us. One of the things about going to a pen show, especially one as big as DC, is you get tired after a while, don't you?
Yeah, you get tired because my feet were starting to hurt.
So 3 hours at least of straight walking around, visiting tables. So I've got my Larry the Pen Bug Guy t-shirt.
I got our shirt.
Yep, the one of our website, thefountainpenfanatic.com, and he's got a little fountain pen nib necklace that we had picked up for him to wear. So he was all decked out. My wife had the same necklace on and matching earrings for it. So here we are back in the room, and wanted to share a couple of things. As with every pen show we've gone to, there's always a tote bag you get as you walk through the door. I've got one, or I had one with an easy reach right behind me until somebody had knocked it down.
When I was trying to get over here.
But Yafa Brands was the sponsor of the DC Fountain Pen Super Show this year. And one of the things that Yafa does is they do the brand Monteverde. And so this is their ink. And I know we got a little bit of glare over here, but here's the ink, the 2018 DC Super Show. It's a blue ink. And what do you think? Do you think we ought to give away a bottle of this?
What do you think?
I think we could do that. I tell you what, for those of you who didn't make it to the show, or maybe got to the show way too late, why don't you do this? Leave a comment below, and one of the things that we'll do is we'll pick a winner at random, and we will give away a bottle of this ink. So even if you didn't make it to the show, you can still have DC Super Show blue ink from Monteverde. So one of the things I was looking forward to with this show is getting to see a whole lot of people. Now we started last night. Now today is a Saturday. The show was running all day Friday. We didn't make it for Friday. We drove up on Friday and spent Friday night here.
Got here around 2:30.
Yep. So last night we got a chance to spend some time with some viewers of ours, and Miss Mary and her husband Billy. Excellent people, friendly people. We thoroughly enjoyed our time talking with them, and we
yes, we did.
So I look forward to seeing a whole lot more, or at least hearing a whole lot more from them later on. Just delightful folks.
At least 10 people today, right?
We may be having up to 10 people. We haven't had our get-together today, but on Saturday at 7 o'clock at a diner here in Falls Church, Virginia, we were planning a get-together, and we'll see how many people show up there. We had some people committed to it. We had some other people said, I may make it, so we'll see how that goes. But so we thoroughly enjoyed Miss Mary and her husband Billy last night. They were
nice people.
We got a chance to go to the show today. One of the things about shows, a pen show, if you know what you want and you're looking around and you got some idea of where you want to go with stuff, then you can actually get done with a pen show a whole lot quicker than you might think. I had in mind where I would like for him to have shopped. He had his own budget. He had a decent budget for a 9-year-old, put it that way. For a 9-year-old, he had a
decent budget.
He did. So he was looking for a nice pen of his own. He had been to somebody last year that we thought about going to again this year, and there was also some other people that were going to be there this year that we thought, all right, I want him to go steer him towards them. And so we found somebody. If you've seen my video previously, you know that I bought a Beacon model pen from Jim Hines out of Texas. Yeehaw! All right, so out of Texas. It's like a whole other country. So Jim was going to be at the show this year. So one of the places I wanted to steer Matthew towards about buying his fountain pen that he had his eyes on was a Jim Hines pen. So he went over to the Jim Hines table with me fairly early into the show, And before you do that, let's show them the packaging. So Jim has the plain white box, and he's got a sticker that comes with it. And Jim has engraved wooden boxes with a nice little inlay that your pen sits on. And really, you're using your sticker now?
Yep.
All right. So you can't really see it. He's put a sticker on his shoulder. So Matthew negotiated a deal with Jim Hines. So I've got this one.
I got this one.
So he has his own beacon here. Let's hold them side by side. Now he's got a mini version of the beacon with no roll stop on it. But he got to pick out what he wanted, and he wanted, as I recall, he wanted a purple nib. So look at that. It's a purple nib.
Yeah, I like
Pretty cool, huh?
I like the one he has. So I was trying to look for one. They had different ones. This one that looked like you're throwing confetti up in the air.
Yeah, the American Graffiti model.
And then they had this fall one and diamond swirls.
Yeah,
and
it's
all
a
of that.
diamond
Out of
dust in
all
it.
of them, I wanted to get this one like Daddy, except without this on it.
Right, so you got one without a clip. It's a little shorter model. But so he has his own very nice fountain pen from Jim Hines.
Let's just tell you this: I didn't have much money left.
That's true. But he negotiated a deal with Jim, and he's happy. He seems to have, that's one of the nicer pens now in his collection. Now, that being said, what, do you want to go to that next?
Yes.
All right.
Now I'm broke. Very, very broke. And now I'm even more broke after I bought this.
There were some folks there that are selling pens and watches, and he got his own fidget spinner, this little high-end fidget spinner. Only my son would go to a pen show and come home with a fidget spinner.
Now I am broke. Less than $10 in my account.
So listen to him. Okay, so from there, there's a couple things that, oh, you want to show the next thing? Okay, we'll show it out of chronological order. So, one of the things that, since we're talking about Matthew stuff, if you've ever been to Ryan Krusak's table, then you've seen the gorgeous work that he does. And I was seriously eyeballing Ryan Krusak today. I keep seeing him at every show I go to and talk to Ryan, nice guy, good Christian brother. And I'd even been to his website, was pricing out some of his stuff, and I had enough money to be able to buy some of his stuff. Well, and then we actually bought some things, not for me, that cost me some cash. Well, not so much for you, but
actually Mama bought
for
this.
you, Mama. So one of the things, Ryan's girls make pen sleeves, handmade pen sleeves, and we picked up one of these. I was going to pick up one in Raleigh, and I went on Friday, and they had these out. His darling girls, Zoe was there at the show, and that little sweetheart was not there on Saturday at the Raleigh show, but she was working today, and they did have these pen sleeves like this. So
my mom bought me it. Guess what? It was either Darth Vader to match my brother. You see how he breathed like. But this was just cool.
But yeah, a Star Wars pen sleeve, so that's pretty cool. So speaking of, let's look at some of the stuff that you got free. He did the once again he did the scavenger hunt. So the Pen Collectors of America, he participated once again in their scavenger hunt, and they let him pick out a pen.
It's fun.
And which one of these did you get from there? Because you got two of the same kind of pen. These plastic European style pens I'm familiar with.
I got this one from last year, I think.
Well, no. You actually, somebody gave you one at one of the booths we were at today. Somebody,
Oh yeah. There's this one person gave me this. They didn't have any converters for it, but they do have this.
Well, he didn't have any ink cartridges. This one here, yeah, I can tell the ink cartridge is in this one. We haven't put it in yet, but he got one of these here as well for completing the scavenger hunt. Another pen that he got for free today. I don't know why. Some people think he's mighty cute or something.
Yeah, some people think I'm cute.
And somebody gave him a pen. So another pen. So we got 2 free pens out of today, and there was one place that we had purchased a pen for his mom, and we'll show that pen here in just a little bit. But while we were there, and one of the things on the scavenger hunt list, because we're still at the beginning of that scavenger hunt, was a vintage Parker 51. And this guy says, hold on a second, reaches into a box and pulls out this pen right here.
This is what he does. Reach into a box. Speaking of vintage Parker 51s, he gave me one.
Yep. So not only did we check that off his list, but he now owns his own Parker 51. So look at this. This little kid made it out like a bandit. Here, hold it up a little bit, and you just unscrewed it just a little bit. But all right, so now Matthew is the proud owner of a Parker 51 that he got for free.
I don't have a lot of vintage pens.
You got a Parker 45, and now he's got a Parker 51, and I know another vintage you've got at home is an Esterbrook.
This is probably the most expensive one.
Yeah, that's the most expensive pen you own, correct. All
And
right.
I bought it.
Now, the same guy who gave him that pen is who we're going to talk about next. Mike Allen, he owns the Woodshed Pen Company. We stopped by there, and he was actually one of the vendors I was hoping to see this year because I've been following a lot of his work on Instagram. And he's tagged an awful lot from people who have purchased from him. And my wife was with us, and she's trying to save most of...
It's a pretty pen.
It definitely is. She's trying to save most of her budget for an upcoming vacation. So instead of that, I'd use some of my budget, and it doesn't hurt getting the wife a gift. She got this purple one right there. Look at that.
She
The
was
blue
saving
and-
up, so...
Blue and purple swirl pen that she got from Mike at the Woodshed Pen Company.
Her husband, also known as my dad, bought her it.
So this is my wife's brand new pen that we'll ink that up here. I may even ink it up, let's say, with some of this DC Supershow blue ink. So she's got another one to add to her collection, and she's a purple girl. She's into the purple colors. So
I like purple too. That's why I got this.
now,
It's my favorite color, but I like it.
so what else do we get? Well, what we got next is something that was on my hit list. I brought a wad of cash, some of it I spent on my wife, and I looked at Ryan Crusack stuff. He was on my list. Canalea Pen Company. I stopped by their table. I had enough money to buy something from Canalea. I've been looking at the Kilauea model, which is my favorite model that they do. I was really wanting to investigate that. Matter of fact, some people that are there that I follow on Instagram, Fly Girl Elliott on Instagram, she was there. I got a chance to see her face in person rather than just in a picture online. And as much as I really, really wanted to buy the Kilauea, all right, we're doing our walkthrough, then we come back, and the model I was looking at was no longer there on the display. So I don't know if they had sold it, if they had any more of it, or what. But anyway,
It was a pretty pen.
it was a gorgeous pen, and it's still on my hit list. So
I found one that I like, couldn't buy it.
what I really was looking for, though, some vintage Waterman pens. There's a guy that I had met. I mean, we met Sarge at some of the DC show last year. There's some folks that I had met at previous shows that had some fantastic vintage pens. And if you like vintage pens, the DC show is definitely one of the places to go because every make and model you can
They have a
conceive of
lot of
would be
vintage
there.
pens. There's this one person that just sold vintage.
Yep, a lot of people, that's all they did. So, I was hoping to see, I didn't know I was going to see this one particular guy that I met at the Raleigh show. Raleigh is my home show because we live about 35, 40 minutes max from where that pen show is. And I met this guy, Alan Hirsch, who is out of the Raleigh area, and he was at the Raleigh show. Well, he happened to be there at DC, so I'm walking around helping take him from place to place to do a scavenger hunt, and I see Alan. Well, by that time, he's getting tired, he's getting hungry, the wife is getting tired and hungry, so they go to sit in the lobby.
Mama took me to sit in the lobby.
So they went to sit in the lobby, and I went back to go see if what Alan had. I found this Waterman 55, and it was a red ripple vintage, and it had a different kind of nib than I'm used to seeing. It actually is a more of a firm nib, not as much as the flex nibs that people like, but a Waterman 55. And I asked him if he still had it. He says, no, I think I sold it. He said, but, so he showed me a Waterman 55 that he had in the black chased hard rubber. And then sitting next to it was that. This Waterman 55 was sitting there, and lo and behold, it's the same one that I saw in Raleigh, and he had it. So I had enough cash left over in my wallet after having, or in my pocket.
After spending on his wife?
After buying for your mom and getting us into the show, I had enough to go and you know, he said, you know, here's what it is, and if you happen to be paying cash, it'll take $25 off from it. And I said, done. Sold. Because I knew what he was selling it for in Raleigh. And so I went back and I got this beauty right here. So I got a nice vintage Waterman. It's got a tougher nib, or a more of a firm nib, so it doesn't flex as much. So really happy that I was able to pick this up and add that to the collection. So that was our pen show haul from 2018.
Not as much as 2017, but still.
But we got
at least we bought stuff.
All of us walked away with something. We spent a good amount of money. A couple of notes on this particular show. There were people who were very disappointed with last year's DC Pen Show.
That's why they didn't come.
There are some vendors that I was used to seeing that did not come this year. So it was tough when he was doing his scavenger hunt,
yes,
finding a pen repair person.
We found this one person, just one.
One guy who was doing some repairs, and that wasn't really what he was there for. He was actually selling a lot of pens, but he was doing some on-spot repairs for some folks. And there was one vendor I was hoping to see that I purchased from last year. I didn't see him there this year either. Mike Masayama, he was there, and I wouldn't mind to have gotten some nib work done, but quite honestly, I wasn't going to wait in line to get that done. It was only like one pen that I happened to bring with me that I really need some work done because it's a hard start and I can't fix it on my own. The DC show, of course, was crowded, but not as bad crowded as it was last year, I don't think. I don't know as many people were going this year, and there certainly weren't as many vendors. I've heard some bad things about the organization of this show, that people were upset enough so they weren't going to come. So that's sad to see, that the biggest pen show in the world perhaps has been mismanaged a little bit from what I'm hearing. This is all secondhand knowledge to me, all right? So this is all word of mouth. Understand, last year was our first DC Pen Show. So
ever.
And it was in the...
They took me, it was a birthday present.
Yep, and it was in the new venue.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So it was in the new hotel where it was again this year. So I didn't know the difference. So if it was mismanaged and it was different in a bad way from the previous years, we didn't know the difference.
Or people just didn't feel like traveling that much.
No idea. But here's something else I'm going to say. Several times we were stopped while walking around the pen show, and I had gotten some instant messages and some text messages from some folks who know us from doing this YouTube channel, and they had wanted to see us while we were there, and they had some of them had missed us because we didn't stay a long time. Gotta be honest, pen show walking around, it does get tiring, and for a 9-year-old especially, and my sweetie, they were getting tired, and we didn't sleep well, to be honest with you, the previous night because we were in this hotel.
Up about 4
Strange
times.
place in a hotel. We didn't do so well for sleep-wise. But what I will say is several of you had commented first that you saw my Larry shirt. Some people commented they saw his shirt that he's wearing with my logo on it, and some of you had come up to me and commented to me that you watched this channel and had thanked us for producing these videos. It's humbling when somebody comes up to you and expresses gratitude for something you do as a hobby, kind of on a lark, that they would actually spend moments out of their lives watching two nerds like us sit here and talk about writing utensils. Really? But a couple other things too. We are coming up on 700 subscribers. And
last time you checked, 696.
Something like that. So we're about to hit 700, and we get us over the 1,000. Once we hit the 1,000 subscriber mark,
We're doing a giveaway.
we will be having a giveaway. I think I figured out what I want to give away. I haven't told anybody else yet what I'm going to do.
I don't even know.
But we are going to have a 1,000 subscriber giveaway. So once we hit the 1,000 subscriber mark, we will go ahead and give it will be a pen, and probably is going to be a vintage pen in that package of what we're going to put together for you. So tell your friends, tell your neighbors, wake the children,
your family.
subscribe. And once we, it seems to be something about that magic number of 1,000 subscribers. Is once you hit that, you tend to grow a little bit even more. But we've had a good steady growth, and not as fast sometimes as I thought it was going to be, and other times phenomenal. When we hit 250 and then 500 real quick, and then YouTube changed the way they do things, and it has been mighty slow past the 500 mark to get where we are right at close to 700 now.
Most of the people. Okay, we got famous because of the video we did last year, the DC Pen Show.
If you want to call it famous, I mean, we're just a couple of schlubs sitting here in front of a camera talking about pens. Anyway, here's what again, thank you. For those of you who take the time to watch our little channel, we're grateful. We're thankful that you would, and humbled, quite honestly, that you would take your time to want to have dinner with us, that you would want to say hello, shake our hands, thank us for doing this. It's very sweet, very humbling, and I have a tremendous amount of gratitude for that. What do you think?
You do, and I do.
Oh, one last thing I forgot to throw out there too. I'm now a member of the Pen Collectors Association of America. The Pen Collectors of America is, and so now I've got some back issues of the pennant that I got, which is our official magazine. I forgot to mention that. So now I am officially a member of the Pen Collectors of America for the next calendar year.
Yep.
So, all right, well, that's it. I know we've taken an awful lot of time on this video just to show you this little bit. But again, thank you.
Thank you for subscribing.
Keep the subscriptions
commenting,
coming. And
wanting to have dinner with us, shaking hands, meet us.
And again, if you want to win a bottle of ink, I'll send you a bottle of ink. We'll pick a winner at random. Comment here down below, and we'll pick a comment at random, and then you'll win a bottle of ink. Cool? Cool?
Yes.
All right. Thanks a lot. We appreciate it. Talk to you.
Bye.